Hello. All right, well, now I need to do another industrial scene. You guys are making me really want to do that. Yeah, I love all these industrial paintings you guys are doing. So, hello, everyone. How's it going? I think YouTube is yelling at me and telling me that my stream quality is crap again. I don't know why that would be, but whatever. So hopefully we don't drop out. Hey, did you guys notice I cleaned up a little bit? I know it still looks like a mess, but it's actually, it's pretty tidy. I cleaned up a bunch of my mess. Most of it went into the recycle bin, so that was good. So how's everyone doing? Yeah, I don't know. I thought I had more to say than that. If you notice, my easel is empty. So that's kind of the hard part about doing these, doing the jam sessions so early in the week, is that, you know, usually by Sunday I know what we're painting. I've got it done, I can show you and everything. But usually Friday, sometimes I'm done recording by Friday, but usually Friday I'm kind of in the middle of recording. So I am in the middle of recording right now. And so I don't have our, it's kind of Autra's birthday. Technically, yesterday was kind of Autra's birthday, and technically Autra doesn't get a birthday until next year. But, oh, it's also, who else's birthday is it? It's Michelle. Michelle's birthday is today, too. So happy birthday to Michelle, and happy birthday to Autra. Since Autra only gets a birthday every 4 years, we'll let her have today and yesterday. So happy birthday, you two. Yeah, so I'm in the middle of recording, and I do actually have it here to show you what I've been working on, because I think I'm gonna need your help, at least some suggestions. Yeah, and you'll see. I just hit myself in the face when I did that. Whoosh. You'll see why when we get there. So I'll show you that in a little bit. In the meanwhile, we can go ahead and get started on our video. Will said that he would try and stop in for a little bit here. So hopefully we get to see him soon. Yeah, so that's all I have. I am set up for demos, and I've got my blue canvas here. I promised you that we were going to use this blue canvas until you used it, and it's been months now. We haven't used it. By the way, this is my palette for the painting that I'm working on for next week. So maybe I don't want to use this one because I don't want to have some rando color in it that is not going to end up being in our painting. So why don't we use, that's right, an old Halloween palette. That's how messy I am. So, yeah. I know, Deb, me too. And that's why I wanted to bring it to you guys. I thought, I don't know what I want to do in this one part. And I thought, I'll just ask everybody during the jams. And I know that they'll help me out. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and push play on the video. As always, yell at me, let me know if I need to make adjustments to the volume. Why do I still have that? Because I am a mess, Jennifer. I'm not joking. This has been sitting on my desk since the last time we used it in Halloween. And I'm trying to think, what did we use this for? Why was this on my desk? I can't remember what we used it for. It's like covered in dust. Yeah, I'm a mess. It's true. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Yell at me if you need demos, if you have questions, if you need a rant, whatever. And in about 20 minutes, I'll stop and I'll show you what we're going to do next week and get your feedback and, you know, get some ideas from you.
All right. So
whoa, that's loud, isn't it? Let's turn that down just a little on my end. There. How does that sound to you guys?
Canvas like you see me use
Oh, and it looks like we're buffering, and of course my face is frozen really horribly. Did I lose you guys? I feel like I lost you.
So I have my reference image here on my phone, and Will has his printed out.
Yeah, mine is frozen too.
You can get this image, which I got off of Pixabay, but you can download it in the video description below for free as well.
Well, hopefully that stops, because the last thing in the world I need to see is my stupid face frozen in some bizarro look.
Get crazy and like trace it.
So, yeah, I haven't seen any of the crystals pop up. Yeah, I know it was a little bit of a different video. There wasn't a whole ton of instruction. So, you know, I can probably do, you know, my version of the crystal at some point again and see if I can do it with a little bit more instruction. We can kind of have this one be a little bit of a conversation video, and then have one where I do a little bit more instruction. So let me know. Hello, Sylvie. How are you?
I get questions all the time, you know, about the materials that I'm using.
Pat, you know, it moved around quite a bit here because I took it out of the package. If I have found that if I leave it in the whole package, you know, leave it on the, whatever this is called. This doesn't slide around quite so much. I have a little more control over it. I just ripped it out of there because Will was using the same color, and, you know, I didn't want to, like, clunk the package around all over the place. But in retrospect, I would have left it in the package. Will does have his taped down a little. You can see it on the top right corner of his canvas sheet, but you know, he does a lot of raw edges, so that worked out really well for him. I tend to go edge to edge, and I didn't want to be confined by, you know, having to make my image smaller or having the canvas showing around the edges. So I didn't. Also, I felt like I needed to be able to turn it around, and if I would have taped it down, I wouldn't have been able to do that. What does it say on the front of the pad? All kinds of stuff. Genuine pre-toned artist canvas acrylic prime for use with oils and acrylics. Oh yeah, it says it can be adhered to a rigid board with acrylic gel or stretched. And they're talking about finished product. So they're not talking about don't stick it down to your table with acrylic gel, because there it will stay. It means you can take like a piece of masonite board or whatever afterwards and, you know, glue it down to that so that you don't just have a loose piece of canvas.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
You got fingerprints in the corners. I probably have some too, Pat.
Overachiever. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time with this one a little bit.
Of course you can, Ten. You can do it however you want. I know that his sketching is much better than mine. And he just like, and I'm like erasing like 50,000 times.
Yeah. Let me finish this before you get going, because I'm going to have to do something.
But did anybody, I think Lisa said that she started this one and then had to, and then she gave up on it, which I think that she's probably being too hard on herself. In fact, I can almost guarantee she's being too hard on herself. But did anybody else at least start on it or whatever?
I have people who really hate it, and I have people who really like it, and people who did really hate it and now really like it.
Yeah, it's one of those things you gotta grow into.
Yeah. Do you ever do gridding, or?
I do.
I have like a Charlie horse in my shoulder too, so if I'm twitchy, that's why.
Oh yeah.
You turn it around and just physically press a little bit harder. It's kind of
Pat's on version number 2. Awesome.
But the one I've really gotten to like is getting a high contrast.
Yeah, Lisa, see, I had a feeling that you were being hard on yourself. You need to not be hard on yourself. You need to listen to the things that Will and I said in here and take that to heart. You know, just relax. Just do it. Just have fun. You can make changes as you go. You can, you know, you got to power through the ugly phase because something awesome is about to happen. You know, don't be so hard on yourself. There's no reason to have a hobby that stresses you out. So don't let it stress you out.
Feel that I get a lot of good value out of it. I like U-Trek. Their paints are actually pretty decent. It's a lot cheaper.
Sylvie's still working on the Buddha. I can't wait to see.
They are decent quality.
And these are their heavy bodies?
Yeah. They're nice. They're kind of flowy.
Yeah.
Not super expensive.
Nice.
You do the job.
Someone couldn't tell whose hands were mine.
So I like a medium.
Is it because Will has very delicate, lovely hands?
Yeah, well, and that's why I use to transparent.
Good, Lisa. Make sure you tag me so I don't miss it.
Palettes are pretty similar.
Instagram is starting to move really fast. Now that I'm over 10,000 followers on Instagram, like my notifications are... So, yeah, make sure you tag me,
Get it to be too bright, so I'm
and that way I'll see it.
titanium today. And then I'll be using matte medium because I use
I loved painting this crystal, and I think it really is one that you can just kind of fall into. You know, I don't think that there's a reason to
probably not required.
to stress over it at all. You know, whether it's drawing the shape, crystals are shaped like a million things.
I'm gonna use my half-inch angle.
So there's no reason to stress out about the shape. There's no reason to stress out about the colors or the blending or, you know, any of that. Just keep layering, changing. Don't stop until it looks like what you want it to look like. There is no reason, there's really no reason that you have to start over on this, you know. I mean, if it were like a human face, let's say, and you get the proportions all wrong and, you know, yeah, you might have to start over at some point. But this, there's no reason that you have to start over on the crystal. There's really not. You can make any adjustments you need as you go along.
Throughout the entire painting, you know, in various mixtures. Sometimes I'll have more blue, sometimes more of the burnt sienna. So I'm going to concentrate when I'm working on highlight areas. I'll have a little bit more of the burnt sienna. My shadow area.
Oh, thanks, Deb. I really enjoyed that part. I was a little bit nervous to do that part because, I don't know why, because I get nervous just like you guys do, you know. Sometimes things make me nervous to do. But once I started in on it, I was like, this is the best part of the whole painting. This is the funnest part, and, you know, where I could just spend all of the time that I wanted.
That's why I like using a lot of really watered down paints towards the end.
To get those layers in there.
Yeah, you can just get, like, when everything's so black and white, you can get like a watered down purple and just keep going, and then you get this awesome blend without the effort. It
Yeah.
looks like you just
More snow coming? Oh my gosh. I swear, it's like spring here. And
I'm excited to see.
I'm so excited for it, you guys. It was yesterday, it was like 57 here. That's crazy. 57. Today, it's like 45 outside. That's nuts. That's super exciting. So we might be going camping very, very soon.
Basic colors that
Yeah, next week we're supposed to have 50s again. Oh, that makes me really happy. So,
I like to work in a lot of layers.
yeah, I was hoping that all of you guys were going to be getting some spring here pretty soon, too.
You know, I feel completely confident to just go and play with the colors. See what happens. Come back later and change it.
There was this watercolor painter that I started watching that he's got such an awesome eye, too.
Scamping is the best. I'm so excited to go. I think we're going to take Mr. Moon with us this time. So we're going to be close to home. The place that we love to go, Antelope Island, is not very far from our house. So if Mr. Moon's a total jerk and we have to get rid of him, not get rid of him, but you know, we can just run him home from where we're camping and be back in less than an hour. So, so that's good. But yeah, we're going to try and take him with us. Little nervous about that.
And if you're happy with it.
Oh my gosh, Jennifer, yucky.
I tell people that all the time. I hear that so constantly. People are like, well, it's not perfect, but like,
My opinion on people.
Kelly, that's me too. Because, I mean, like, I like spring. I don't have anything against spring, but it means summer's coming, and I'm not a summer fan. But this year, I'm like, I don't care. I just need it.
from my experience, I think what it is, and we just kind of take
Yeah, there's really antelope there. There's antelope, bison, bighorn sheep, coyotes. We saw, there's areas where you can go walk and it's just like super fine silty sand. And it had been wet. And there were raccoon footprints. I gotta show you. It was so cute. They were everywhere. These little raccoon footprints. So I'm gonna pause this, and because now we're talking about Antelope Island, and that makes me happy. So let's see if you can see this. So you see the little raccoon footprints on the beach. They're so cute how their feet are all close together, and then they're far apart, and then they're close together again. But yeah, when you walk out on the sandy beaches like that, you'll see bison footprints, and you'll see like goat or sheep, like the bighorn sheep footprints, and you'll see raccoon and yeah, all kinds of stuff. So it's a lot of fun out there. We didn't see any raccoons. Just feet. Just raccoon feet. So anyway, we're excited to go back out there. It's so gorgeous. I always take photos there that I just absolutely love and want to paint. So hopefully I can come up with something sometime.
But I think in my experience, it's not perfect. But
Oh my gosh, man. My back hurts really bad. Or my neck.
I'm going to protect myself before you can tell me that.
So does anybody have
You know what I mean? It's almost like
plans for the weekend?
recognize before you do that my painting could be better, then you can't hurt me.
Right.
And first of all, nobody should be saying horrible things to you about your painting.
Such a personal thing.
It is. It's so personal.
I know a lot of people don't like what I do, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
People who receive my art is happy with it. And
Yep.
that's kind of the end of the subject for me.
Yeah. And that's
Nobody has plans for the weekend? Trivia night tomorrow night? That sounds like fun.
unfortunately, I hear people
I would be down for that.
who are like, well, I did this painting and I
First Friday Art Walk. I'm going to ours tonight too. I have a good friend of mine has a big showing at a new venue in town, so we're gonna go see that.
you know, whatever. They just say something horrible, and then that person is just crushed. And that kind of stuff really makes me upset.
Gritting failure.
Things like that to you.
Do you remember what we were talking about with the steak stuff?
Yeah. So
About inequality and people just
yeah. So you should tell people about that.
I can't wait to see Tan.
philosophy, Marcus Aurelius.
Yeah, snow days are good days to paint. Can't do anything else. Might as well.
I can't remember specifically the quote at the moment, but it was something along the line of
Atra, wait until you're not sick to do that.
care about them anyway.
Right.
Oh no, Barbara.
It is like if you go and get a haircut and you're happy with it, the person that cut your hair is happy with it. You go share it with your spouse or whoever, and they think you look really cute. And then
I like it when you say cute.
You know, the ladies like to be cute when they get it.
Yeah, I'm hoping we're done with snow. It keeps saying that there's
Yeah.
like rain and snow coming. Like tomorrow it says rain and snow, but I'll believe that when I see it, because our high tomorrow is supposed to be 41, so I don't know how we're going to get snow. It doesn't usually snow when it's in the 40s here. Sometimes, but I'm hoping not tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so true. And
So we're going to our art stroll tonight, see my friend. And I have to finish recording next week's video, finish editing that. I have to record something for Magic Mixing Monday because a lot of people were not happy that I didn't have anything for it last week. I've done like 3 of them, and now people are like, why didn't you post something for Magic. Monday? Because I didn't think you guys were that invested in it just yet. But they are. So, yeah, now I have to come up with some colors to do for Magic Mixing Monday. Maybe I'll just grab 3 random colors and try that. If you guys have any suggestions, let me know.
I think twice, really quickly. And one thing that I noticed, so if you're following along and you're painting too, one thing I noticed with the way that I'm doing it.
Pat, me too, man. Gridding, I love gridding so much.
I'm going through and I'm filling in my crystal. It's looking really strange, and you might be
Thanks, Deb. I appreciate it.
almost white in here, and you might be really tempted to not go almost white in here. But
I really like the Magic Mixing Monday too, but you know, it was just such a busy week with this video and everything, so I was like, well, something has to be sacrificed, and nobody's going to notice if I don't mix up some paint on Instagram for 60 seconds. Oh, yes, they did. So I posted, you know, the thing about this on Instagram, and people would comment on it and just say, where's Mixing Monday? Even on Facebook, people are like, no Magic Mixing Monday. Sorry. Yes, Kelly, I hope you love those. Thank you, Sylvie. I had a good time making that, and I'm glad that it seems like a lot of you found it helpful. So that's good. I want to do more IGTV stuff. So you guys tell me, what would you like to see there? And I've kind of done yellow and purple. I mean, not yellow and purple by itself, but when I did the rose, I did the yellow and the purple with the orange anyway.
Oh, yeah.
But those always make a gorgeous color. The tree painting I just posted. Oh, yeah, the one we did with Patreon. That was super, super fun. Where did it go? I just had it here. Oh, it's right here. Yeah, we had a really good time with this one. And, whoa, my camera's going to fall over. And I think I want to take just a few concepts from it. Not the whole thing. I did this for you guys on Patreon, so that's where it will stay. But there's a couple concepts in it that I really like that have gotten a lot of comments, like on Instagram. And I may end up doing a video at some point with just a few of the elements, but not a recreation of the painting. So has anybody who was there when we did that, did anybody do the painting? Is anybody planning on it?
Everybody learns at a different rate, but also everybody has different amounts of time.
Deb, you were here when we did it, weren't you? Deb, weren't you there when we did that the other day on Patreon? Oh, yeah, it needs a name. The 7 design elements and then the principles. I don't really know what those are. I'd have to go learn that myself. I don't have any kind of formal education. Everything I'm telling you guys is stuff that I've just picked up along the way. A lot of it from experience, some of it from observation, very little of it from, you know, learning it from other places.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything I teach you guys, it's just stuff that I've
A storage unit. And
learned from going.
there's so much stuff, and I found some old canvas boards, and I'm like, nobody even needs to see these. So
Nope, no new tree.
Just them up and
I don't have time to learn something new right now.
do you know how many canvases I go through in a week?
You can send it to me and I probably will never read it.
Stacks of like old junk canvases that I paint over. I don't need any more.
build one ultimate canvas, like a mech canvas.
Like a what?
A mech canvas.
What does that mean?
It's like when a robot is made by robots to make a super robot.
I keep checking my phone. Sorry, I'm not being antisocial. I'm just making sure that, because I sent Will the link, and I just want to make sure that he doesn't text me and say, I can't get in. Welcome, Gretchen. It's about time.
Like that one last little squirt of paint in the bottom of it too. Like I bet I could put a whole canvas.
So we're actually about 26 minutes in, and I told you that I would show you next week's painting at about 20 minutes. So should we do that right now? You guys want to do that right now? Or should we wait? I'm going to let you decide.
Playing with the tones, so if you can tell, some areas I've got are very blue, some a little bit more brown, but
Yes?
again, all
10 says yes.
are the
All right.
same three colors mixed together.
Yes. 2 yeses. 3 yeses. 4. And an LOL. I don't think the LOL was aimed at me. All right. Okay. So, well, Gretchen, you're so sweet. Okay. So I did next week's painting on my Frederick's canvas pad, on the black one. As always, you can do whatever you want. You can do a black canvas, you can do a white canvas, painted black. You're probably going to want your canvas to start black, one way or the other. You can use black gesso, you can use black paint, you can do whatever you want to do. You can do it however you want to do it. So, we kind of talked, this was with the $15 patrons when we were doing this the other day. A few of you asked for like kind of a reboot of the painting that I did with the foggy forest and the lamp. Don't get excited, that's not this. But this is kind of, I think the impetus for this painting came from that conversation, even though it's not that. But a lot of the same things I did in this painting are things I did in that one. So it is black and white. And then I want to glaze it. And I believe I'm done with the painting except for the glazing. So I need your guys' help figuring out what kind of colors I'm going to glaze this. So here it is. Doo, 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 doo. It is not done. Not by a long shot. I can see exactly how I want to finish it. There's elements that I know will be in it. The part I don't know what to do is the color of glaze. So I kind of want something that feels a little mystical, a little, you know, mysterious, but I'm really kind of over blue and purple for those purposes. Maybe it's just because that's just me. Maybe that's what everybody in the whole world wants, is purple and blue for mystical qualities. But that feels boring and kind of trite to me. But if that's what everybody wants, that's what I'll do. So I need some help. Just not all one color. So kind of what I was picturing is like kind of doing a darker color around this area. And then, you know, in here and then in the highlight areas, like a brighter color. So just for example, I don't want to do these colors, okay? So please don't latch onto this because I've already decided these aren't the colors that I want. For example, if I glazed with like blue, like phthalo blue, and then yellow in the middle. But that's not what I want to do. I am going to have like some light rays, I think, a few light rays kind of coming from in here. So it's going to be like a bright glow. So part of the trees are going to be blurred out. But I think I want it to be a little bit more misty, so I may not do light rays because I want it to seem like a foggy, misty type glow. Anyway, this is what I need your help with. Colors. Give me some colors. Quin burnt orange and teal. Yeah, I'll try. I thought I remembered seeing that. And I think that's why I felt like when the blue and the yellow were like my initial thoughts, and then I was like, no blue and no yellow, because I feel like that's been done. So maybe that's where, did he have blue and yellow in it? Yeah, Deb, that's kind of where I was going too, but then I was wondering if it would be boring because the other one that I did like that kind of had that green in it. Deb, you're so easy to blow away. I like the Quin burnt orange and teal idea. Oh, thank you so much, Sylvie. That means so much to me. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Another vote for the Quin burnt orange. And green gold. Man, that green gold is so beautiful, but I just can't bring myself to buy it. Green and yellow. Sylvie likes it black and white. I do too. I do like the black and white. Sepia idea. But if I did it gold, burnt sienna, and Prussian blue, I don't know. My burnt sienna wouldn't be good for it because I don't have the transparent burnt sienna. So when you're glazing, you do have to be careful that you're not using opaque colors. Alizarin and something. If I left it black and white, don't you think it needs a pop of color though? It just told me that it disconnected and reconnected. So, ay, man, we're having a hard time today, aren't we? And of course it's frozen on my stupid face. A red bird in the tree. Okay, thank you. I don't know. This is why I haven't done this part yet. So I'll show you guys one more time. Really give it some thought. I mean, I guess I could just leave it black and white. I could glaze it just like with a single color, so kind of along the sepia line like we were talking. So it kind of had a retro-y feel. And then I can still do the glow in that. In fact, let me... That's a good idea, Deb. I like that. Let me experiment with a color mixture here for a glaze. Ooh, and if this... I already know what colors these are going to make, but I want to look at it and see if it feels right for this painting, and I want your input too. I'm actually going to do it 2 different ways. And how about this? The one that we settle on is what I will do for Magic Mixing Monday. And I'll say that it was picked by my good friends over on Patreon. How about that? that's what we're going to do. I need, let's see, I'll just use a piece of paper. I have a piece of paper right here. Blaze the path only. I was thinking about things like that too. Yeah, Leaf, that's a really good idea. I could do something like that to get an idea. I might have to, what did I do? There we go. I might have to do that. So let's try this, and then maybe I'll take a photo of it and put it into my photo editor tonight. But all right, so I'm going to do 2 different color mixtures here. So there's some phthalo green, you know, that color I'm afraid of. There's some more. Now it looks like creepy green eyes. And over here we've got, what color is it going to be, you guys? That's right, it's Quin Burnt Orange. And over here, whoa, not that much, some alizarin. So let's see what happens with these 2 colors. I am kind of looking for a sepia type color. You guys tell me what you think. But then I will also do that, and I'll post them to you guys. I can, will I be able to do that tonight? Depends on what time we need to leave. I'll try and get that done tonight and let you vote on what you like the best. So there's a bit of a sepia-ish type color with the Quin Burnt Orange and the phthalo green. That's kind of a nice color. I like that. And with the alizarin, that actually kind of verges on like a grayish purple, doesn't it? I don't think I like that. It kind of turned blue. Bluish gray. I like this one a lot. So there we have our perfect sepia color, I think anyway. I think that's a gorgeous color. So that's just the Quin Burnt Orange and the phthalo green. Let's see. No, neither of them are really very chromatic. Well, actually, this one would go chromatic black. This one, no, not really. It doesn't quite get dark enough. It looks pretty dark to you guys there, but to me, it's like a very dark red. It's a very deep red. These 2, I believe this will go chromatic black. No, that really didn't either. It's closer than that one, but it's still not quite black. One on the background and one on the foreground. The first one. Yeah, I like this one a lot better too. This one just feels kind of dead to me. It's very, very gray. Where the one with the Quin Burnt Orange, it's much warmer. I think my white balance is a little off on my camera. There you can see it's a little bit more kind of bluey gray. And that one's nice and warm, very sepia type. But yeah, I'll see if I can get a decent photo of it and just put a couple of filters on it tonight and post them over to you guys. See what happens. Anyway, let's go back to it. But keep thinking of color ideas. I still really like the idea of, you know, kind of doing a little bit more to it color-wise, kind of like we did with the lamppost Well, I guess we just used really a solid color on that one too, didn't we? Hmm. Yeah, Pat, that's true. I could just lean it, let it lean one way or the other.
Yeah, so that's so funny because we really are doing practically the exact same thing. We didn't talk about what we were doing beforehand. Well, I guess I did tell you last night what the color was, but you already had your mind out, so I figured that I was safe.
I'll think about it. You guys think about it. We'll come up with something. We have a few days.
To 'em. That's really interesting.
I've noticed that with paintbrushes, you get like a little bit of
That's a good idea, Eileen. Just be like, oh, there we go, and it's done.
Yeah, I've seen that in your work, and I've wondered how you did that. I didn't realize.
So Jennifer asked about using the yellow oxide and the diox, like we did in the spiderweb video. Yellow oxide is a little bit more translucent, which I guess wouldn't be a bad thing because it would help give kind of that misty
Painting that we did last week, the low
quality that I want.
while we were doing the premiere, and they said something about not liking brush strokes.
Yeah, I could maybe do that. Kind of that purple and yellow, because where they meet, they make that really rich red, kind of a ruby color. I might have to do just like a fake little mock-up of this painting real quick and try out a couple of different colors on it. I like that idea.
Exactly. I'm really glad that you brought that up. See, guys, I tell you these things all the time. You guys have actually heard me talk about Will several times. So, you know how I'm always harping on you to
Sylvie, that's brilliant.
paintbrush
I didn't even think of that.
part at the end. And loosen up. So Will is actually the first one that
Just
did it.
cover it in plastic wrap and paint on that.
He was like, you're dumb. Don't tell me what to do.
Yeah, deep violet is pretty mystical.
But now that, I gave in and I do it, I mean, a lot of these guys think that I'm dumb. They always tell me not to tell them what to do when I tell them to loosen up.
I
But
think we're all kind of that way.
Look at you guys are so brilliant. I never thought of things like that. You guys are so smart.
yep.
Hi, Olaf. He's got to come stand by Mama and wag his tail.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I have a sheet of glass. I guess I could do that.
I've known this for a very long time.
Mess with a few ideas. Huh. Oh, Olaf.
Specifically for this, it sat there for a long time.
No
And then
way.
one day I just grabbed it within a couple minutes. Why
Could have been
Well, I don't need to film it tonight, so yeah, so we've definitely got time.
like using
Um,
Mom's stick.
That's what
But
it is.
but he rested it on the ground instead of on the edge.
Anyway. Everybody says hi. They all say hi. Why won't you look at me when I talk to you? It makes me feel bad when dogs, it's a dog thing. How you talk to them and they like don't look at you and they kind of do like this thing at you. And I always tell Olaf, it's okay, you can look at me. I don't take it as a threat. How come you won't make direct eye contact with me, dummy?
I tend to do. I really like crazy. But you were the one that
Yeah, I have a sheet of glass.
aware of underpainting.
And I have plastic. I might have plastic wrap. I might not. Oh, I've got plastic around here somewhere.
Describe your paintings that you tend to do.
And I have cat hair all over my face, and that's why I keep, because,
Like try to mimic their techniques. And then that's how I kind of develop my own. But
because I'm alpha. I know, but I want him to look at me.
So would you say it's darker, like dark art, or
yeah, a little bit abstract, a little bit dark.
No, that's true, Sylvie.
not exclusively?
But my mind just went to, oh, just paint it again really fast and then do it. I didn't even think about putting something on top of it and painting on that, but that will save me some time. So I'll have to just do that.
Yeah.
So it's screwing soft pastel paints with like,
Yeah, Olaf does that when he's pretty sure that I'm about to offer him something. But when I'm just like chatting with him and telling him, I love you, he's like,
His underpainting will be like mint green or
don't use aluminum foil. Why? Will I not be able to see through it?
that's a really cool.
Oh, Jennifer, no, he doesn't. Mm-mm. No.
paintings that I do, I'm kind of using more to help me establish temperature.
So, did you guys have any questions specifically on this painting? Were there any things or, concepts that Will and I talked about that you wanted to elaborate on?
But there's just something about having a rich color canvas where the colors play on the canvas itself and you're looking at everything like through lenses.
Yeah, because even if you don't look at it and see it in the end, if you're like, well, why did I bother putting that hot pink on there? I don't see it.
It does make a
It
difference.
does make a difference.
Try doing half and half.
Exactly.
Do like a blue underpainting, do orange underpainting, and do the same thing with that, and you'll see what the temperature difference is.
Yep. We did that a while ago. I did a little, just like a quick impressionist landscape. And the one I did in the video, I used cad red medium. So, that's a pretty fiery, intense color. And I used that
You guys are so quiet today.
underpainting. Speaking of underpainting,
Are you bored? Are you bored with me? Do I bore you now?
first layer of my entire crystal. So I did the cad red medium for the underpainting for this landscape.
That was a lot of fun, Pat. Do you guys have anybody that you paint with or that you can paint with? Just to sit side by side and paint and talk. It's really an inspiring thing.
The actual painting itself.
Even if you're intimidated by the other person's skills, it's
I felt like the blue
you still have you have things that you can learn from them. They have things they can learn from you, even if you feel like you have nothing that you can teach them. And just the amount of inspiration that you get from having those kinds of exchanges is so valuable. I'm still kind of riding on that inspiration high from this. And whenever I think about it or whenever I see parts of the video or I look at our paintings, I remember that and parts of our conversations, and I get that again. And I get some of that from you guys, when we do the live directed paintings. I get a lot of that kind of collaboration, inspiration high off of you guys too.
making changes to the colors as I
Bye, Letha. Thanks for hanging out for a little while.
my image is very, very bright. That's kind of the focal point, I feel like. Crystal is right there. So I'm going to start with
None of your friends will do it.
brightening that. So I don't feel like
So you guys, all of your towns they've got to have like art communities, some kind of art guild,
right off the bat.
Start at an art gallery or, call the city and ask about their arts council. Like most cities have an arts council or an art committee, and you can find groups and everything of people who also make art, and just kind of get into that community and find people that you can get together with, sit down and paint with. It's really invaluable.
In our neighborhood, who was the oldest? He was in junior high at the time. I think there was like 7.
Yeah, his is a little bit more on the, I would say it's kind of maybe abstract impressionism.
Drawing. He was doing like stuff on the walls and
Mine, still life is the type of subject. So still life has to do with the subject of the painting. So they're both still lifes because it's, an object in a setting. Mine is, I don't know. I hate to say it leans more towards realism. But it probably does lean a little bit more towards realism.
just because I wouldn't do any of the projects I was told because I thought I would
Oh, yeah, Jennifer, I understand that. Yeah, you don't want to do that. That's not fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't get intimidated. You can't, I mean, if they make you feel intimidated, I mean, if those people go out of their way, their actions and the things that they say are intended to intimidate you, those aren't people you want to hang out with. You want people who are very gracious and treat you as an equal, even if, you know, even if they know that they're way better than you. You want somebody who's going to treat you as an equal, who's going to willingly share information with you and ask you in return for information, where you can have that back and forth flow. You know, like I said, even a brand new person to painting, well, I mean, probably not brand new, but, you know, somebody who's been painting for not very long at all, I know that I can learn something from them too. And I'm willing to have that kind of a, you know, an exchange. Those are the people you want to do this with. You don't want to do this with people who are snobby and roll their eyes at whatever you do, or roll their eyes when you ask a question, or act like you're stupid because you asked a question. You want to paint with people who are socially on the same plane as you, even if artistically maybe they're way above you or way below you. So find people like that and, you know, make it a point to try and get together with them whenever possible. Now, if they do treat you like that, very equal, and you still feel intimidated and don't want to do it, that's a hurdle you have to get over. And I highly encourage you to do so, because you hold yourself back by allowing yourself to be intimidated by other artists. Yeah, Deb, I don't like that either. I had a good friend, actually my best friend. She said, I'm not painting with you anymore. And I was so hurt. I said, why? She's like, because you're better than me. And I know she didn't mean it hurtful, but I was really hurt. And we haven't painted together again since. And I don't want to, because I feel like, you know, just like you would feel if somebody said something judgy and hurtful about your painting, putting themselves above you, I felt the exact same way, and I don't want to be in that position again. So we haven't painted together again. But again, that's their problem. But at the same time, yeah, I don't want to be in that position either.
When I was in college, it was 6 months.
Exactly, Kelly.
It made so much sense, and it was beautiful.
Lisa, I understand that, but I promise you, if you do it at least a little bit, you'll see some value in it.
Has the best tools. So he passes away. You inherit these tools, top of the line. That's natural talent. You still have no idea how to use them.
Yeah.
All you have
Yeah, I understand that, Deb.
over the next guy who doesn't have these tools. You still got to go to school, get fundamentals, understand the entire
Jennifer?
Practice.
Oh, man, you better watch that kind of talk.
really nice tools. It doesn't make
It is this group, isn't it? We are all besties, and we have such a great time together, and nobody's judgy and nobody's mean, and I do love this group.
Can any Joe Schmo who's
That's so fun, Eileen. I wish I had time to do things like that with you guys. I would love to do that.
you know, it's something you build up to.
Yeah.
You get the simple, basic tools.
Yeah.
You get everything else.
Guys, I'm not saying never paint alone again. I prefer to paint alone. But that doesn't mean that having these kinds of experiences like I'm having with Will here, that doesn't mean that you won't love it. It doesn't mean that you have to run out and want to do it every single time. But it's amazing how refreshed you can feel after just once.
Yeah.
It's not the material.
Hey, you can't sit here and whine at me when I'm working.
With educated hands and
Go find Daddy.
And the
Go find Daddy.
you put into
Go.
it.
so I
Go. Go get Daddy.
really nice tools are
Go. Go tell Daddy.
easier, but it's not
He's sitting here whining at me, little punk. Go.
people will spend a bunch of money on these tools and get so discouraged.
Hang on a second. Now I am using my phone because he's still not leaving the room. He's going to come back and whine at me again. So I have to text Vince.
Yep, it's true. Yeah, and you know, I started out with craft paint, and I know a lot of people who are probably watching this right now use craft paint.
It's hard.
And it is
Okay.
hard to use craft paint. But if that's all you can afford and you have the drive to make art, then you use that craft paint.
He is sweet, and I do love him, but he can't whine at me while I'm trying to work.
To upgrade from your craft paint,
Yeah.
you do, but you don't
But,
hold off on making art until that day comes.
Yeah, exactly, Jennifer. He's like, enough. I need a treat. I need to go outside. I want to lay on your lap on the couch. He's like 75 pounds, but seriously, if we sit on the couch, he's like, here it come. And he like drapes across our lap. And he doesn't care. You can like try and get into this weird position like this, thinking this will encourage him to not do that. And he's like, no, here, I'll just stick my leg in here and that'll push your arms down. And now I'm draped across you. Oh, and your arms are pinned under me. So I should see if I can, oh, I might have a picture of him draped over Vince's lap that I can show you guys. Yeah, he is being quiet, which is nice. Can we not wake him up? He has been screaming all day. And so thankfully right now he is quiet. And I would like for it to stay that way. We're trying to teach him how to walk on a leash, which I take him out in the backyard on the leash. Oh, there, he just woke up. I try to take him outside on the leash in the backyard once a day or so. And for the most part, he'll walk around with me, but when he gets it in his head that he's going to go over here and I don't want him to go over there, then he like falls down, lets his arms slip out of the harness because he's a punk. Let's see.
Let's get some of their, this is quite blue, so I'm just going to kind of break it up a little and throw more brown in there.
Oh yeah, so here's kind of one. This was, here, I'll pause this. This was in our scamp when we went to St. George a few weeks ago. Well, a few weeks ago, it was for New Year's. So we went to St. George and Vince sat on the little couch in the scamp and Olaf took it as an opportunity to drape himself over. So yeah, so that's what he does always. That's how we sit on the couch in my house with Olaf like that. So yeah, I think he knows his size, but he doesn't care. Oh, he actually tried to do that to Mr. Moon one day. So I felt really bad about it. So Mr. Moon was laying on the couch. He's just laying there. And Olaf got up on the couch and I denied him. I was like, no, you're not going to lay on me. And I pushed him away from me. So he went over to Mr. Moon and he looked at him and he went like this and started laying down on top of him. Remember, Olaf is like 75 pounds. So Mr. Moon screamed and I had to rescue him. But yeah, he was like, hey, Mr. Moon, I'm going to lay on you now. Mr. Moon is a punk. Your cat is wrong. Yeah, he is sweet, but he's... And he knows that we love him, and he takes full advantage of it. He's like, you love me, and you're going to let me get away with this, so I'm going to do it.
Same color as these two colors I'm using.
I wish I would have gotten a video of when he tried to lay down on top of Mr. Moon, because it was hilarious. I was laughing. I think Vince was still asleep when that happened, and I laughed so hard that I'm pretty sure I woke him up.
Yeah.
Poor little Mr. Moon. I take it back.
I really love these colors together.
12-pound dogs. Well, you know, when we had Boris, and we had two 75-pound lap dogs. So that was interesting because, of course, they both wanted to do that. So that sucked, but it was good at the same time. I miss it, but isn't it funny that we get to be furniture for our cats? Because Vince gets that. No, I guess we both get it, but Vince gets it a little more than I do. Olaf draped across him, and then Mr. Moon will like sit kind of on top of Olaf, like up on Vince's chest with his head like under. So he's trying to watch TV like this. Animals just crammed under his chin. Yeah. So you can hear Mr. Moon screaming now. This is what he's been doing all day. Hopefully he doesn't come in here with that. So what did you guys think of this palette knife technique that Will was using?
I actually typically use the burnt umber rather than burnt sienna, but yeah, they both.
Yep, you did wake the beast.
Ultramarine. Yeah, I did a video a while ago, a year and a half ago.
He sleeps so silently, like so soundly too. So
So that was a lot of fun. And for the
I don't know if he heard me say his name and that's what woke him up, but
that I was going specifically for.
yeah. Anyway, he'll be up for a while now.
Random colors and stuff.
You know, guys, I went through like big palette knife phase for a while there. It was, probably a couple years ago when I went through my palette knife phase. And lately, every time I pick up a palette knife, I'm like, So I don't know what happened.
I am going to use some today.
I don't know. I would love to do more palette knife paintings, but
Mostly I use it when it doesn't.
I don't know. Every time I pick one up, it just doesn't, it feels very foreign to me. But I love this super loose technique that he used there. And that kind of made me want to try doing it a little bit more. I really like burnishing paint with a palette knife. So like on that, the stormy sea that we did about a year ago, a little over a year ago. When we did clouds and everything by really burnishing with the palette knife. I really enjoyed that. So maybe we should do some more of that soon.
See, that's another reason, guys, that it's really nice to
Oh, how sweet, Kelly.
last.
A bouquet of palette knives.
Last. You guys always ask.
Oh no, here he comes. He's coming this way.
And then just paint the subject on top of it.
Yeah.
You can
Let's just ignore him and hopefully he'll go away.
to make adjustments like that. Like, if
That's true, Jennifer. It would kind of derail
done, and then
the things that I've been doing. And I do kind of feel like I've
needed to be adjusted.
kind of crested a creativity hump or, an ability hump. I feel like
Looking different because it had been
because I've taken a little bit of pressure off myself. I always had so much pressure on myself to let's keep this under a certain time frame. Let's make this as simple as possible. And I don't want to keep it under a certain time frame anymore. I don't want to make it as simple as possible. I think that, that's not what makes me happy. When I first started, I was a new artist, and doing it simple that's what I was good at. And now I find that the more simple I try to make something, the more unhappy with it I am. And I'm really into seeing how I can push myself to learn, but I do feel like the way that I break things down and the way that I explain things, I feel like really just about anybody can do it. Because while a lot of the techniques might not be focused on a brand new painter, I feel like my teaching method still is. So, yeah, I don't think that somebody could just pick up a paintbrush for the first time ever and do all of the paintings that I've been doing lately. But if you've even got a little bit of experience and the desire to, be patient and the desire to learn, then I think, yeah, anybody can do it. But I'm not interested in doing paint party style paintings anymore. I'm not interested in doing the fastest thing that can be done. I'm more interested in teaching so that I can keep growing and so that I can help you grow that's where my passion lies right now. And I feel like since I told myself that that was okay, gave myself permission to be like that, that I have kind of reached a new level in my videos and in my art, and I'm really happy with that. So yeah, that was really long-winded. I just ranted at you for nothing. I apologize. Thank you, Ten. I keep thinking I want to revisit that one. I feel like that's going to happen soon, the rainy window. So, yeah. If ever you have ideas on how I can, you know, kind of update that a little bit rather than just rehashing it, I'm always open to your ideas. Sylvie, I don't have, I mean, I have like big, huge, like frosting spatulas, you know, like the big ones, but I don't have any of the little ones. I should probably get some of those because I've thought about that. Yeah, Jennifer, that's what I thought too. You know, the people who want that absolute beginner stuff, that's great. And there are lots of people who teach that. And so, you know, but I honestly, like, when I try to work super simple, I'm like, this looks horrible. I feel like I do a really poor job at it. I find joy in digging down into things, and that's what I want to play with right now. That's right, Pat. Thank you, Atra. I'm glad to hear that. You guys are so sweet. Thank you. Yeah, I do want to do that window again. Yeah. And what's funny is I found myself venturing into more realism. And that was really surprising to me because realism isn't something that I've ever been interested in doing. And, you know, I'm always telling you guys the goal, like I just said here, the goal of realism, I think, is held in too much esteem. I think that there's way too many people who start painting and they're like, well, if I'm going to paint, I have to be a realistic painter. And so they try to jump over all these other learning hurdles to just jump straight into realism. And they feel like if their paintings don't look real, that they're a failure. And I think that goal of realism is held to too high of a standard. There's no reason that everyone has to be realistic, and I've never had a desire to be a realistic painter. But this year specifically, I have found myself, without having a goal to, I've found myself kind of pushing for realism and working toward that. And so that's kind of strange to me. That's kind of surprising because that's not something I've ever wanted to do. And yet here I am kind of pushing toward realism. So maybe it's a phase. Hopefully it's a phase. I think it's a phase.
And it's your painting, so you don't have to worry about that anyway.
Thank you, Deb. See, that's exactly what I want. I want to teach you to fish. And I don't want to just be like, I'm going to teach you how to paint a beautiful flower. And that's all you're going to get out of this. You're going to come away with a painting of a beautiful flower and nothing else. Really, I'm using, you know, the images almost as, it's like, yeah, the image is great because I have to draw you in somehow. But really the image is secondary to the concepts that I want to teach.
So when I first saw this image, and I was like, oh, I really want to paint that. I was super intimidated.
Thank you, Lisa. That was my favorite part of this painting too.
You know, looking images. And so I was a little bit worried about how I was going to make it look like glass, but then, or, you know, crystal clear. And then when I started
Jennifer, yeah, I think But you can also do quite abstract. So like what Will's got here, he's got his dark, dark darks and his bright, bright highlights. And that gives a very realistic look, you know, particularly at the bottom of the crystal, not right now, but in a little bit, it starts to really look dimensional and glassy and, you know, quite realistic, even though it's got those very impressionistic kind of scattery brush strokes. The values being correct are what really give it that realistic look. And so, yeah, I've really been pushing myself hard lately on values. And
But have you ever done the opposite where you're like,
yeah, that's kind of been a big focus lately, is values.
what was I thinking?
Bye, Kelly. Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah.
I'll try.
I would have wine or something while I'm painting.
Yeah.
I think I'm the best freaking artist in the world. Go back in the morning and go, yeah, that's not very good.
That's why I don't paint in wine.
Yeah,
Not to mention it's dangerous.
coffee's better.
I actually can't drink anything while I'm painting because I did the other day. I just had, I think it was just a glass of water. But
Well, where is Michelle, man? I thought she would be here for...
nasty looking thing. I glanced
She said she was going to be here. No, Michelle?
I was like, oh, that was really uninteresting. It made me think I was drinking paint.
Yeah, Jennifer, that's a good idea.
But I'm so
Yeah.
afraid I'm going to. So I'm just
Bye, Barbara. Thanks for hanging out.
because I'm using that matte medium. See how thin
We can
it is.
jump a bit on here, too.
Colors underneath.
Let's jump a bit. We're going to go just past the middle. To the drip of water that made so many of you freak out. So do you guys understand why I left that drip of water there? Why I wasn't like, oh, gotta get that off.
So to make that look
Paint has to cure. Acrylic paint has to cure. And curing and drying are two different things. And it takes a few days to cure, and that's why you're told to wait a few days before you varnish, because paint can be re-wet. It's one of the reasons you'll see me when I'm painting with matte medium, where I've painted something and then a little while later I'll come back and I've got matte medium and everything and I start lifting paint off. In fact, that happens in this painting a little bit because the paint hasn't cured. So when I had painted that background not too long before, and it's dry to the touch, but it is far from cured. And that water, when it hit, if I would have tried to wipe it off, there was a possibility that I could have immediately smeared that paint and changed it. But then also, I don't think I noticed it the very second it hit. And after a minute or so on fresh, uncured paint, if I would have tried to wipe it, it absolutely would have left a little blop, a blank spot where that drip had been. So I really had no choice but to leave it or repaint that part of my background. And with just a loose mixture of paint like that, I never would have, you know, I would have ended up repainting the vast majority of the background. So, yeah, Cindy was pretty funny. She hated that. She was very unhappy about that, those spots of water. Yeah, wiping it off would have, I was hyperventilating. Wiping it off would have been a bad deal. So let me show you. And then everybody was like, didn't it leave a mark? I mean, it kind of left a little bit of a mark, but the mark that it left is, I have it right here. The mark that it left, you know, first of all, when I hold it up like this, you can't see it. You have no idea where that was. You can't see it. And it did leave a little bit of a mark. But, let's see, where is it? Right there. The mark that it left, see right there, you can't see it, but if I turn it there, you can see it. It's not shiny like the rest of my painting, but some varnish, and it will cover it, and you won't even be able to tell. You know, some varnish to just kind of even out the sheen You'll never even see where that was. But no, it didn't affect it. There were 2 other spots. I know one of them was over here somewhere, and I can't tell where it was. I don't even see that dull spot. There was another one that was like over here somewhere, and I can't even tell where that one was. So yeah, once that's varnished, you'll never see that. So that's why I didn't touch it. All right, let's jump back into here.
It looks so bad. It looked,
Um,
and I was like, oh no.
what was I saying?
Destroyed. Now
I don't know. My brain is on sideways today. It's not quite on backwards, but it's definitely on sideways.
Get new countertops. And, you know, but I had the same attitude. I'm like, all right, well, I've already destroyed my countertops. I already need new ones. So
I'll try. It would have. Hello, Will. Will's here. It probably would have.
the same thing. Just, I swear the story's going somewhere. It has to do.
Affected it, taken up some of the paint too. And maybe it wouldn't have, but I have enough experience with it. Deb, you said even knowing all this, you wouldn't have the self-control to leave it. That's fine. The first time you go to wipe it off and it screws up your painting and then you have to deal with that, the next time you'll leave it. And I don't know, maybe I could have successfully wiped it off and not had any of the paint come up, but I wasn't interested in finding out if this was one of the lucky moments when it wouldn't have affected the paint. So I don't sweat the small stuff, guys. You guys have to get over a lot of those things, to be irritated by something like that and be like, that's making me crazy. You have to let it go. It's going to cause more problems to mess with it than it is to just ignore it. Just ignore it. Tilt my head to a saucy angle to put it back on straight. No, Deb, you don't have to heed those words. Seriously. When you're working on a painting and you get a water splop, trademark, I encourage you to just wipe that bad boy off. Just wipe it right off. And then you'll learn. You have to touch the hot stove to learn why Mom says don't touch the hot stove, right? You can go ahead and touch it. Exactly, Pat.
And maybe it's not right for what you're doing.
Splotty bits.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, there's a few bits in next week's painting so far.
That mindset.
A few bits.
Throw up your hands and go,
I can't remember. I think there was a weird one. I said it and I was like, oh man, I swear people probably think that I'm like looking for ways to interject these. I'm like, I have to make up a new hilarious way to say bits. But really, it's just because I think I speak in onomatopoeias. I'm like, when it hit the canvas, it kind of went splop. So that's what it's called. It's a sploppy bit. I'm not really looking for ways to make up these bizarro things that I say. I just say them.
yeah. Yeah. I'm going to zoom it in here really tight because I want to show you, seriously, this is really simple what I'm doing. If you have a teeny tiny little sponge, you could do the same thing. It's controlled. I'm not just stamping in all kinds of places. A little matte medium. I'm going to smear part of it with my finger. That's all I'm doing. And Lil did it totally different way. How did you do the little
Yay, I'm glad you did that, Will. Now you know that I wasn't lying to you when I said everybody really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, you better watch out, Will. These guys are crazy.
As far as like color matching,
They're crazy awesome.
break, let's say I forgot exactly what mixture. If they accidentally got it blue,
And I tolerate you, Eileen.
kind of wet with it.
Yep. I
Sometimes
just
like
grabbed the wrong color.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden it got really
I grabbed the
quiet.
color I just
You
have,
guys
like,
got
a
quiet.
idea that I want to work out. It's not like a painting, just a quick idea. So I'll
Where did our blue canvas go? Oh, there it is.
and just start doing it on that. Not even painting over the old canvas, just start my idea. And a lot of times when I do that, whatever
I wonder where Cindy is. I thought that Cindy would be here
when I
today
actually do my painting, that's
because
what
she
goes
was
into my underpainting.
she was really digging Will's work, so I thought she'd be here today too.
Or have you ever just started, like, out in a painting, it's whatever, you're going to practice something, flip it around, do a different thing, leave what's there, now it's your new background, and you do some new crazy thing over here, and now you have these layers and colors and crazy shapes that you would have never done on purpose.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. Sometimes planning too much
Stop thinking,
can ruin it. Yeah.
start thinking on canvas.
Absolutely.
Right, Sylvie? This is what I was talking about. Was it Deb who asked about values? And I said that, you know, even though Will's brushstrokes are more kind of abstract impressionist, the fact that he's got his values in there so intensely, you know, the darks and the lights, really starts to create this really transparent, glassy looking object. So even though the brushstrokes aren't overly realistic, the values are, and that's what gives it kind of that realism look.
What are your favorite things to paint?
I don't have,
Uh-oh.
with tattooing,
Mm-hmm.
I've taught myself, it's not the subject matter that you're working on, but it's how you work it
Yeah.
and what you make of it, because I don't get to choose what I get to do most of the times. I get to be picky and say yes or no, but
Yeah.
most of the time it's
Look at that green, you guys. That was, I think that's my favorite part of Will's painting is that green.
people give me freedom. You know, I'm
I love that green.
so I don't have like a favorite subject. Oh, of course I like creepy dark stuff. Can't be creepy all the time, I would say that.
Yeah, for sure.
Eileen, I think it's hilarious that you said sad face instead of
Too.
typing a sad face.
With the, you know, the
Oh, I know
little,
what you mean,
what was it, the
Mm.
pig? There was a
A
pig.
little flying pig.
No, it was the little pig in a jar or something.
Oh, yeah.
It was so sweet, but it was, you know,
It, it kind of
it's
goes
not for
along.
everybody, but I certainly like
I'm a Tim Burton type of person, so I like the cutesy
it.
creepy
Yeah.
little girl stuff.
Deb, I think creative cussing usually is,
I like doing
yeah, I think that usually helps.
the baby carriages.
Oh yeah, I love your baby carriage with the balloon.
Yeah,
Yeah, with the red balloon.
I did. I got tattooed by somebody, and we were talking about the psychology of art and how if you add something cute, something pleasant in the art itself,
Yeah.
it messes with people's heads because they don't know how to feel about it. You get more of an emotion out of it. Look at
See, Deb, you and Sylvie can help each other. She can teach you in French and you can teach her in English.
That's my favorite. When I mix, like, people
That's
can't even,
awesome.
like, figure out what's going on in their own heads.
Yeah. I like it, but I feel
If
dirty for
something's
it.
wrong about
I
it,
shouldn't like
and it's
this.
the psychology. There's actually, geometry.
Uh-huh.
There's the geometry, like,
Let's jump ahead a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, those water spots are still there. Ooh, the black.
This is a black 2.0, and it's a reformulated, like,
Oh, I know a huge amount of it in Spanish. I don't know any in German.
should have never used this before, but I think it'll make this crystal really pop if we put a little bit of that. And I know you're a big fan of the matte medium stuff, but if you go with gloss
Oh yeah.
on the crystal itself,
That would really make it.
Well, Lisa did, but she insists that it looked terrible. And was it Pat? Pat, did you say that you're on your second version?
Right.
Oh, hello, Lee. Welcome.
See how dead that is compared to what you've got going on there.
Mars is a little bit more warmer than this too.
Yeah.
So you easily tell the difference in that.
All right, all I'm gonna do now is just go through with white. I might use a little unbleached here and there, a little matte medium, but I'm focusing on white and just kind of punching some.
Yeah, so Pat and Lisa have done a bit. I haven't seen them yet, though.
Highlights in there to make everything really stand out. I think that the more experience I get with painting, the more I realize that the difference between a professional looking painting and an
What?
amateur looking painting can sometimes just be how daring you were with your values.
Oh, you did post it, Lisa?
If you're willing to take your values, take your black to, your dark values to black. If you're willing to take your dark values
Yeah, we know that. We know that, Lisa. We know what that means. I'm going to go look at Lisa's on Instagram right now.
makes it look really professional.
Lisa,
I think that's why lately we've
this
done a lot of painting
is underpainting stuff, sister.
dramatic lighting.
You keep going. There's no reason you have to start over or scrap it or anything. There's no reason.
Be brave with my values.
Here, I'm going to tag Will in it.
Right here is a really
Well, in the comment.
and I'm gonna go over the blacks and the white part of it too. Finish it up.
Okay, well, I tagged you in Lisa's. And Lisa, I'll comment on it on Instagram later. I can't type and talk at the same time. Oh, that was 5 minutes? See,
Yeah.
you can't expect to have
Sometimes
a killer painting in 5 minutes, girlfriend.
what you want because mixing white with the raw sienna
You keep going.
or the burnt sienna.
You really, give yourself the time. Remember, everything we're doing, especially this year, it's all about the time and the patience. If you can't commit to, doing the whole thing in one sitting, that's fine. Break it down. Right now I'm going to draw it. Today I'm going to do like this one wedge of the crystal. More than, just being like, oh, I'm going to hurry and like slap it on here. Don't. Give yourself the time to do it the way that you need it to be done.
What kind of
Hello, Cindy. Welcome.
I've never found a
You didn't get notified.
that I really
You saw the post on Patreon though, right?
Oh, it's the Utrecht one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So this it does say
Yeah, I like the colors that you picked, Lisa. They're fun. They're super fun colors.
Really?
But girlfriend, you got to give it more than 5 minutes. You have to.
Interesting. And it adds a little
Will, I just saw the Mickey Mouse baby doll. It's pretty awesome.
yeah.
So if you only add the silver to the main subject,
Uh-huh.
and then you let everything else kind of dull, it makes that romance, it gets more attention.
How interesting.
I'm excited, Tan. You're going to rock it. Oh, yeah, Cindy. I was just saying, where's Cindy? Will's going to be here. I thought that she'd want to be here. And then there you are.
The unbleached, it's so good, isn't it?
So I found this ring. Well, you guys saw the ring that some of you said, is that a new ring? But look at my thumb. Look at how green it's making me. And it says in it, sterling. It can't be sterling. It's turning me totally black green. See?
You only have a couple, then obviously you're choosing it. I used to have a super simple palette. It was, two of the
Tan, you're being too hard on yourself. You know it.
expanded it a little bit,
Don't be hard on yourself.
but
I don't want any of you to be hard on yourself.
barely
at all, ever.
I've kind of expanded the, like, blue.
Cindy had her priorities in order.
Really any type of color.
We see. RuPaul first, then us.
And I don't buy green paint, so having a wide variety of blue means
My green. What green is that?
I have burnt umber and burnt sienna, and then pigments. I like to mix my own. But yeah, I'm a mixer. I love color mixing.
Like purple and pale green. I really like that one because you mix, you get a really nice
Navy blue. We just did that on my Instagram recently. I just showed everybody that. Yep. Diox purple.
So it's funny when I'm like editing myself, when I'm just talking and, you know, recording a video, like it's fine.
palettes that are already been established.
It doesn't bother me. But when I'm like editing myself, like having a conversation with someone else, I'm like, oh, is that what I sound like? Stop talking. You sound so awful. So I really hate that. So when people say, oh, I could never listen to myself, you know, enough to edit, I'm like, oh, it's not a big deal. But this one was hard to edit. I kept cringing. Ugh. I can't believe people talk to you.
Even just owning a limited palette of colors, you can have more colors in your possession than if you bought every single
Oh, I got it. Yeah.
paint that they made.
I don't have a green thumb. I have a gray-brown green thumb. So I don't even know where this ring came from, but I saw it and I was like, that's really cute. Those look like carnelian, and I really like carnelian. It says it's sterling, so that's good. Now it's turning me brown, so guess what? It's going to go where all of the other like random jewelry I found in my storage unit went, to the thrift store. So I'm going to send this one to the thrift store tomorrow.
I mix it as I go so that
In fact, I'm going to take it off right now
if you're painting a landscape,
because I don't like having green thumbs.
like, this green hillside, that's all this one color of green. There's going to be little variations.
Bye, Cindy, or Eileen. Sorry, I looked at Cindy's name. Bye, Eileen. Have fun tonight.
Control that. The only green
A chicken and a hobo.
is phthalo green.
I didn't make a joke about a chicken and a hobo.
Yeah, it is. Man, mix that
I did edit out a lot of my stuff. I've discovered that when other people are talking, I have, what do they call them, verbal, you know, when you show that you're listening. So I say, yeah, a lot when I'm listening. Somebody else is talking, yeah, yeah. So I actually went through one day and I just like cut out all of the yeahs that I could. So when you see like, it looks like a little jump cut, but
when you see it on my camera.
you can't, it doesn't seem like anything was cut out. It was just me cutting out, yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's so funny.
No, Cindy, you better stay.
Cat orange. I use cat orange so much. I'm so in love with it. It's almost like, like emergency cone orange.
Right, right.
And I love it. But it's such a great color for mixing too. Like, you mix it with deep violet or ultramarine. You get the most gorgeous, like copper, rusty type copper color.
Yeah.
And you mix it with ultramarine.
It's funny you mentioned that on my like palette that I've been using lately. The reason I use a lot of Berthier and turquoise.
You guys are so quiet today.
I have these printouts of copper plates that have been
Yes.
painted on the wall, and that's been
So
my
quiet.
palette.
It makes me feel awkward.
Yes.
You guys are quiet.
Love Tina Copper. Yep.
No, Sylvie, he's kidding. There was no chicken. There was no hobo. Lee, I can't wait to see how those horses turn out. They're looking so good.
Just kind of the conversation and
I think I tend to do things like that too, Cindy. I say, you know, and like a lot. I start sentences with the word so a lot. There's little quirks about the way I talk, and I'm like, stop saying that, see? And I'm like, I say that a lot. And I'm like, and I was like, and we were like, and he was all like, yeah, so there's quirks about the way I speak that I wish I could change, but I grew up in the 80s when it was cool to be a Valley girl, and like, totally. And I still retain my 1980s Valley girl things. And then I've infused, you know, new slang into my lexicon, so everyone's a dude or a bro. Totes. Yeah. I'm not a shining example of the English language, that's for sure. See how he's got that bright highlight on the table inside of that dark shadow. And then kind of that mid-tone around it where you can see the orange through it. So that, again, is another example of that, you know, the intense contrast in the values that really give that realistic look. Utah actually doesn't have a lot of regional, like we don't really have a regional accent or a lot of slang like that. That's why there's a lot of call centers in Utah, guys. Chances are if you're talking to someone on the phone at a call center and they're not in India, they're probably in Utah. We have a lot of call centers because of that. Oh, Lee, you're so sweet. Namaste, bruh. Yeah, you do say that occasionally. Not too much. Sylvie, you know, I have a lot of friends here, like around me, that are incredible artists that I would love to do, you know, more collaborations like this with. I don't want to, because it's a different experience, you know, doing this as opposed to like a regular tutorial. So I don't want to like beat you guys over the head with that and just do that week after week. But yeah, I would like to try and do more of them. Whether it's with Will or whether it's, you know, with some of my other artist friends or whatever. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, finding out what happened.
People always thought that I was a recording. I worked collections actually for Home Depot credit cards for I worked for Citi. And they own the Home Depot business credit cards. And so I did collections for that. People would always call in and, you know, I'd do my little, like, thank you for calling, blah, blah, blah. And they'd go, hello? I'm like, hi. They're all, I thought you were a computer. Your voice is so smooth. Oh, thanks. Oh, yeah, we do. We don't pronounce T's. That's true. Nobody says dag nabbit. People say dang and heck and yeah, but yeah, frickin'. Frickin' is, we do frickin'. Yeah, we don't pronounce T's when they're in the middle of the word. So, like, the next town over from here is called Layton. Layton. And it's spelled Layton. And, you know, in the East, everywhere here in Utah, we have mountains. You know, those are mountains to everyone else. What's good for IGTV? My collections voice. Fill your boots. What does that mean?
Cheerio stuck to your cheek.
Something.
More polite? Oh, I don't know about that. I wouldn't say that. I have worked with some really unpleasant people in call centers, and I'm like, you're going to get us shut down because you're a jerk.
Which is good. Is that your glaze?
Yeah, probably, Deb. He probably was.
The gloss, yeah.
Right, Lisa? It is.
Is it all dry?
Oh, I see, Jennifer. Yeah, that might be a good idea. That's a good idea.
Is that just because you don't have a hairdryer today? Nice.
I love this purple.
Oh, I actually like it.
I love how this purple started changing everything.
You won't use it during certain times.
Whoop. So many windows open on my computer. Do it, Tan. Do it. Flim flam? Where's my shoe? What are you talking about? I've never heard anyone say flim flam ever in my entire life until right this second. Oh, where's me shoe? No, oh, you know what people in Utah do say? You know, the thing that you put your head on at night when you're going to sleep? In Utah, I will not pronounce it like this, so in Utah, it's pronounced puelo. You put your head on a puelo, and Mr. Moon is screaming again. And what is that white stuff that you pour into cereal? In Utah, it's called milk. Milk. And the little round things that come in a box of 12, and you have them for breakfast, those are eggs. Eggs. Yeah. You have eggs with your milk after you bring your head up off of your puelo in the morning. Yeah, that is a good idea. I like that for the IGTV.
It is challenging. It's a challenge for me to try and get colors like that.
Lee, that's Australian slang. I know that. And I'm pretty sure I think I know what that is. I have several Australian friends. You just wanted to hear me say them? Okay. Well, I'm not going to fall for it anymore. So you can go ahead and type weird stuff. And I'm going to be smart enough to not say it next time. I apologize for Mr. Moon screaming right now, everyone. She says puelo. Yeah, that's how adults say it in Utah. Oh, yeah, Cindy, you've got like, yeah. Now you just need a little like North Dakota in there to round your accent off. Maybe a little Cajun Creole. I'm not going to fall for it anymore. Mr. Moon, shut your mouth. He's not going to. It's because Olaf is standing there staring at me again, so Moon is like circling him and rubbing on his legs and screaming at him, begging him to give him attention. Hi again, Olaf. You're not going to come whine at me, are you? You're not going to whine at me, are you? I think Daddy's calling you. Daddy's calling you. Go see Daddy. Did it? I think it worked. It worked. He's leaving. Yeah. Cindy, in Florida there, you guys have a lot of, like, there's a lot of different accents kind of going on in Florida, right? Oh no, Lee. Olaf's looking for a paper towel to eat. I just love all accents. Accents are fun. Audra. Pretty sure the funniest accent is me trying to put on any accent. It doesn't work out. Actually, I do a fairly decent British accent sometimes because I grew up watching Monty Python. And, you know, I watch a lot of, like, Simon Pegg movies. Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, all those. So I have a fairly good grasp of British accents. And I can tell them apart. I don't necessarily know what they're called, but I can tell when, like, 2 or 3 or 4 people have different British accents. But that's really about it. If you ask me to do Irish or Australian or anything, I'm just going to embarrass myself.
This is a marathon painting session.
Is it?
Yeah. I usually, it might even be the next day for me regularly. Catch up, and then I'm going to finish up and
Tan, did you see the download? Your guys' download? Yeah, your guys'. Very Utah right there. The download that I made for you guys for this, it's got Will's reference photo in there too. And he took the same image that I used, and in his computer editing program, he added some color to it. So if you want to tell him about that, Will, how you went about that process. But yeah, I did provide that image to you guys in your Patreon download this month.
It's kind of like those Japanese masters that with the little scroll.
Oh, Audra, and you still married him. He's lucky that you didn't run away when he didn't have a British accent.
preach to people about. Sign it, put it on the front, don't hide it on the back.
Australian is closer to the American accent, I feel like. It's like halfway between British and American. But then I just always end up overdoing it, and I think I end up sounding more like bad British.
So there's
The other accent I really love is New Zealand, because it's so fun to try and imitate. Yeah, 10. So kind of like you guys told me to do with my other painting that I showed you, to put it into the computer and, you know, try and alter it and see what I like the best. So that's kind of what he did. We are almost done, guys. So what else? Like, what else do you want to talk about?
Oh, I love that you did the glow in the thicknesses of paint. That's one thing I don't do. You know, you've got like
Oh, how funny.
layers and you've got
How
your
funny, Lee.
thick, heavy layers.
Because I think that my Australian accent probably sounds better than my New Zealand accent. Really, the only thing I'll even attempt to say with a New Zealand accent is the word fantastic, because I think it's hilarious the way they say it in New Zealand. It's like everything's pinched. Like you kind of have to like talk like that. I'm not trying to do the accent, but you have to like pinch your lips in to speak with a New Zealand accent. She does like amethyst. That's right. I forgot about that.
I agree.
Oh, guys, guess what? On next week's painting, this is my last paper plate. I don't have any more. I have to go buy some more. So hopefully I can get ones that don't really look like this, because I'm tired of these. Anything that's really generic looking. But to buy fancy ones are super expensive. Like those Halloween ones, those are so expensive. Hello, Sue. Welcome. How long have you been here? I will show it again. We're almost done here. Give you what, Lee? Oh, see, Deb, I've wondered. I've actually wanted plain white ones. So that's good to know. Actually, what I'd really like is like a neutral gray, like a level 5 neutral gray. That's actually the best for mixing on, because, you know, since it's the mid-tone, level 5, then you can easily see really how dark your values are or how light your values are. You know, when you're painting on something like this and you're like, that's white because it matches my plate. Well, really, that's not white. That's not pure white. So yeah, like a neutral gray would be best. Oh, Sue, I'm sorry. Yeah, well, I actually use a glass palette too when I'm painting for myself. That's what I prefer to use. I just use the plates typically when I'm doing videos, because I can hold it up in front of the camera so they can see. You use a gray, oh, you use gray palette paper, Cindy. Yeah, I just have to be able to hold it easily, you know, have it be a decent size that I can hold easily and show in the camera. That's why I use the paper plates. But yeah, when I'm painting for myself, I don't use the paper plates. I use my glass palette. Oh, no, 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 no. No, Lee, I don't think so. My New Zealand word, I could be encouraged to do that one, but that's it. I always thought it was really funny the way people in New Zealand say the word fantastic. They always say it's fantastic, fantastic. It's that T, fantastic. But that's it. That's all you're getting. And Will's fun signature. It's all super interesting. Yay, side by side. We did it. Now, Lee, I'm going to need your feedback on my New Zealand accent. Okay. Yeah. So that's it. What else do you guys have? Do you have more questions for... Do you have more questions for Will? Anything else for me? Sue is doing the lotus right now and then going to finish up the rose. Awesome. Can't wait to see. Yeah, Deb, my glass palette is it's a 16 by 20, so there's no picking that bad boy up. It's heavy. So it just stays. Yay, I muted it in time and I didn't lose my sneeze. It just lays on the top of my, you can actually see it right there. That's my glass palette, and it takes up the whole surface of my workstation there. And so I just put it over there and I just reach over and mix, and then I can have my hands free. And honestly, when I'm painting for myself, guys, one thing that I like to do that I can't do when I'm painting for you, because when I'm painting for you, I've got, you know, my palette in one hand and I've always got this in my hand. But when I'm painting for myself and I've got, you know, my left hand is free and my palette over here that I can just reach over and mix, I put my hand in my pocket. So thanks, guys. So a lot of times I have my hand just like casually slung in my pocket. And what that does for me is it makes me feel more at ease. I feel more casual about what I'm doing because I'm in a very casual stance with my hand in my pocket. And that relaxes me and makes me be able to paint a little looser and a little bit more, you know, carefree. So especially if you stand to paint, I encourage you to try that. Put your palette, you know, somewhere where it can just lay there and you don't have to pick it up. And you can just reach over and get your paint and then just like sling your hand in your pocket and like kick back, because it really does help me feel a little bit more relaxed. Oh, I don't want to, Tan. It was awesome. Thanks, Lee. Yeah, that turquoise and burnt sienna that you used, Will, was awesome. That was the best color ever. Okay, so next week's painting, I do need your guys' help. Will, I guess since you're here, I'll ask for your help too, even though that intimidates me, and I know I got done lecturing you guys about that. So anyway, I'm using a black canvas pad, so you guys can do it on anything you like. I do recommend whatever you use that it is black, whether that's black gesso or black paint, whatever it is. So black. What I have here, I believe the painting is for the most part complete. There might be a couple little detail touch-ups here and there, but overall I think this is done. It was kind of inspired by you guys asking for a reboot of like the foggy forest, you know, with the lamp that we did years ago. So it was inspired by that. I kind of had the idea to do like a forest with a glow somehow. So I did it in black and white, and then I need to glaze it. I was thinking of glazing it in some colors, but I don't know what colors I want to do. So that's where you guys come in. Help me decide what kind of colors I'm going to use to glaze this with. So here we go. So that's what we have for next week. I'm pretty sure it's done except for the glazing and like the little light details that will come after the fact. So yeah, we had a couple good ideas. We talked about just kind of doing it in like a glazing it in like a sepia color, which I kind of like that idea. I'm going to take a picture of it and put it into my photo editor and just kind of mess with some overlays and see what I like. And if I get a few that I like, I'll post them to you guys so that you can weigh in on it. But I kind of want like a moody, mystical feel, but I'm really kind of over the whole like purple or blue or whatever for that. So a few people even said just leave it black and white, but I feel like it needs a pop of color. Maybe we leave it black and white and we just throw in like some poppies or something, kind of like we did with this. We're like, oh, let's just throw some poppies in the corner. I mean, should we do something like that? What do you guys think? Tell me what your thoughts are on that. If I just throw in a couple of like red flowers toward the bottom. Because I do really like the black and white. I like that a lot, but I don't know. So give me your thoughts on the red flowers, if you like that idea. My computer is screaming. Why is my computer screaming? Anyway, emerald and topaz. Purple. I feel like every time I do a painting like this, I end up with some kind of purple. I think purple would look great. I just feel like, I don't know. I feel like there's got to be a different, I don't know. As is. No poppies. No flowers on the bottom. Just leave it as is? Really? Just black and white? No red flowers? That's 2 for no red flowers. All right. All right, well, what I'm going to do then is I'm going to mess with a couple ideas on like overlays. So that's another for no poppies. All right, well, that's 3 of you. I'm going to work with a couple ideas on overlays and just see if there's something that like really stands out to me. And if I can get a couple that I like, I'll post them over to you guys and let you decide. Otherwise, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I can give suggestions of colors to glaze with, but I'm going to get a trillion questions about how do I glaze? What do I use? What if, you know, just a million questions. And then I just might as well do it because I'm going to end up doing it on the next week to quell all of the concerns over glazing. Yeah, that's what I think I'm going to do. Well, Tan, stop using my words against me. 2 conversations? No, I think we're pretty much on just one. I think we're all kind of having the same conversation right now. Deb, stop it. I just don't want it to be boring. Like, I'm totally cool with it being black and white. I'm just concerned, are people going to be bored if it's just black and white, you know? I just don't want it to be boring. But if you guys feel like the black and white is, you know, powerful enough to kind of hold its own, then we can just go with black and white. I just didn't want people being like, if I wanted it in color, what colors would I use? Whatever colors you want to use. Oh, you guys are sweet. Patrick won't be back, you guys. I think Patrick was just a lonely person who was here that one day, and yeah. Yeah, Lisa, that's exactly what I have to do. Yeah. Ooh, I just had a little bit of an idea. Here's just a little thought. Yeah, but Jennifer, if I don't do the right color, people won't watch it. Like, I could do the exact same painting and glaze it in like green. People hate green. They hate it when I do green paintings. You guys might like it, but trust me, when I do a green painting, nobody watches it. The people who do watch it thumb it down immediately. So if I glaze it in green, everyone will hate it. No one will watch it. But if I glaze it in purple, people will fall all over themselves and talk about how it's their favorite painting ever. So I know it sounds easy to say, the color doesn't matter. It's, the concepts. But for like the vast majority of people, oh no, the color is absolutely everything. If they don't like the color, they won't watch the video. I know most of you are like, oh, I don't like the color, but I'll do my own color, But no, most people aren't like that. They're like, nope, I don't like green. I'm not watching that. It's so weird. Yeah, so, well, I have an idea. What do you guys think if I did like a primarily like a quinacridone glaze with like some yellow for the brightest areas, but then like maybe Payne's gray in the dark areas. So kind of vignette the whole thing with Payne's gray. That's an idea. Although now that I say it, I don't really like it. No, I won't glaze it with redly. No. That would be, people would hate that more than green. Sue, you might have to click the live button. It's hard for me to type and talk at the same time. Will someone type to Sue to hit the live button on the video? Because I think she's behind, and that's why she's not catching the conversation. Yeah, I'll mess with a couple ideas. I don't have to really wrap it up and finish it until Sunday, so I've got even all day tomorrow to think about it. So, yeah, Sylvie, that's a good idea too. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I think tomorrow I'll just kind of play around with it. Maybe I'll take my glass palette apart and use the glass over top of it. See how that works. But, okay, well, I'm going to let you guys go then. I'm going to get something to eat before we go to our art stroll. We have art stroll tonight. I hope that you guys who are getting snow, I hope you don't get snowed out and freeze to death. I'm so tired of winter. I hope that we all get some spring soon. I know it's spring here, and that makes me happy. So, all right, well, I'm going to take off, and I appreciate all of you guys hanging out with me today, and I'm glad that Will made it, and yeah, I'm really glad that you guys enjoyed this video. We had a really good time making it, and I'm really happy with the video and with the way our paintings turned out. And I'm going to sneeze again. Oh my gosh. So, and yeah, so I better go before I start sneezing again. I'm usually a 2 and 3 sneezer. So, all right, everyone, I will see you in a couple of days, and I'll get you some more information as soon as I have it for you. So have a good weekend, everyone. Bye.